After the age of 70, the body begins to respond differently to many types of food. Foods that were once considered nutritious may no longer be suitable, and dietary habits that seem harmless can silently affect the heart, blood pressure, memory, or sleep. What is noteworthy is that there are certain types of nuts consumed daily that seem beneficial, but are actually quietly undermining health. On the other hand, there are also tiny seeds that bring surprising benefits in maintaining mental clarity, strengthening bone and joint health, and supporting digestion. In today's video, we will discuss 4 types of nuts that should be included in the diet of people over 70 and 4 other types that should be limited or avoided if one wishes to proactively and sustainably protect their health. Proper nutrition is not about eating a lot, but about eating adequately, eating with understanding, and starting from the seemingly smallest choices made each day. Among the types of nuts recommended for older adults, pistachios are often unfortunately overlooked. In fact, this is one of the most effective nuts for naturally regulating blood pressure, thanks to its high potassium content and low sodium levels. In individuals over 70, an electrolyte imbalance, especially between potassium and sodium, can lead to blood pressure fluctuations that are difficult to control. A small daily serving of pistachios can help improve this condition without the need to increase medication dosage. Moreover, this nut contains 2 valuable plant pigments, lutein and zeaxanthin, which have the ability to concentrate in the macula of the eye, helping to prevent macular degeneration, a leading cause of blindness in the elderly. Studies have shown that regular supplementation of these carotenoids can prolong visual clarity, reduce glare sensitivity, and enhance contrast when reading or walking outdoors. Pistachios also play a unique role in supporting mental well-being. The need to shell each nut slows down eating, aids digestion, and creates a sense of mindful eating, which many seniors struggle with due to habits like snacking or chewing inadequately. The manual action of shelling not only trains hand dexterity, but also stimulates brain activity, which is highly beneficial for maintaining alertness and mental reflexes. From a sensory perspective, pistachios have a visually appealing light green color, a mildly sweet and naturally nutty flavor, and are not overly hard, making them suitable even for those who have difficulty chewing. Notably, they are a much safer option compared to harder or oilier nuts. To fully benefit without excessive calorie or sodium intake, older adults should opt for unsalted or lightly salted pistachios and limit consumption to about 1 ounce per day, equivalent to 49 nuts. More than just a snack, pistachios are truly a natural gift that helps balance blood pressure, protect vision, and support mental wellness for those entering the golden years. Brazil nuts are a unique type of nut that many older adults are either unfamiliar with or have not fully utilized, despite being one of the richest natural sources of selenium among all foods. Just 1 to 2 nuts per day are sufficient to meet the daily selenium requirement, offering numerous practical benefits for people over 70. Selenium plays a vital role in regulating thyroid function, an endocrine gland that directly affects energy levels, metabolism, and mood. In old age, when many individuals begin to feel tired, experience cold hands and feet, or become easily irritable without a clear reason, the underlying cause may be mild thyroid dysfunction due to selenium deficiency. Furthermore, the selenium in Brazil nuts helps slow down cellular oxidation and protects the nervous system, particularly the myelin sheath surrounding nerve fibers, which is essential for maintaining reflexes, cognitive function, and processing speed. Another standout benefit is its ability to slow the shortening of telomeres, the ends of chromosomes linked to the aging process. Some recent studies even suggest that the antioxidants in Brazil nuts may slow cellular aging at the genetic level. From a digestive perspective, Brazil nuts are also suitable for older adults, as they contain natural fiber and unsaturated fats that help maintain regular bowel movements and prevent constipation, a common issue among the elderly. Their soft texture, mildly sweet and rich flavor, and light crunch make them easy to eat and comfortable for those with dental problems. However, due to their extremely high selenium content, even a small amount is enough, so overconsumption must be strictly avoided. It is best to consume only 1 to 2 nuts per day, opt for nuts with intact shells to retain freshness, and store them in the refrigerator to prevent the oils from oxidizing. Brazil nuts are not just a snack, but a natural remedy for thyroid health, mental clarity, and longevity when used properly and consistently. Almonds have long been regarded as a symbol of purity and sustainability in a healthy diet, and for individuals over the age of 70, they are one of the nuts that should be regularly included in the daily menu. What makes almonds particularly special is their natural balance of 3 elements essential to aging health: bone strength, cardiovascular health, and brain function. First and foremost, almonds are a rare plant-based source of calcium, a crucial micronutrient needed to protect bones that have become weaker and more prone to osteoporosis after 70. A small serving can provide nearly 100 milligrams of calcium and, more importantly, also contains magnesium, a mineral that plays a key role in directing calcium to where it is needed, rather than allowing it to accumulate in the blood vessels, where it could contribute to atherosclerosis. In addition, almonds are rich in vitamin E, a well-known antioxidant that helps protect nerve cells from damage caused by free radicals, which is one of the factors contributing to memory loss, poor concentration, and neurodegeneration in older adults. Notably, the thin brown skin of almonds contains high levels of flavonoids, which when combined with vitamin E, create a dual antioxidant shield that supports both heart health and cognitive function. Furthermore, almonds are also a reliable friend of the digestive system, offering about 3.5 grams of fiber per serving to help soften stools and reduce constipation, a condition that affects nearly half of the elderly population. From a sensory perspective, almonds have a moderate crunch and a naturally mild sweetness, and when dry roasted without salt, they make an ideal snack in the morning or between meals. However, for those with weak teeth or difficulty swallowing, it is important to chew thoroughly to avoid choking. Consuming between 15 and 20 almonds per day is a reasonable and effective amount. Almonds are not just a nutritious snack, but also a smart choice to holistically support the aging body, from the outer framework of the bones to the deepest layers of memory. Walnuts are often mentioned as a food specifically beneficial for the brain, not only because their shape resembles the 2 hemispheres of the brain, but also due to their nutritional composition, which truly supports cognitive health in older adults. For those entering their 70s, memory decline, slower reflexes, or a persistent sense of mental fatigue can become constant concerns. Walnuts contain a significant amount of plant-based omega-3, specifically alpha-linolenic acid, an essential fat that nourishes the membrane surrounding nerve cells and supports signal transmission between brain cells. As a result, regular walnut consumption has been shown to improve information processing speed, cognitive flexibility, and short-term memory. In addition, this nut is rich in polyphenols, powerful antioxidants capable of crossing the blood-brain barrier to combat low-grade inflammation in neural tissue, one of the contributing factors to Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. Notably, walnuts also contain natural melatonin, a hormone that helps regulate the sleep-wake cycle. For older adults who frequently struggle with insomnia or restless sleep, eating a few walnuts in the evening may provide a calming effect and naturally enhance sleep quality. Moreover, walnuts support cardiovascular health through a combination of arginine, an amino acid beneficial for blood vessels, and anti-inflammatory compounds that help soften arterial walls. To maintain optimal quality, walnuts should be stored in the refrigerator, as their oils are prone to oxidation. A reasonable daily serving is about 7 to 9 walnut halves, which is sufficient to provide nutrients without excess energy intake. The natural taste of walnuts may have a slightly bitter edge, but this very flavor is a sign of strong antioxidant activity. For older adults who wish to preserve mental clarity and emotional stability, walnuts are an essential addition to the daily diet. Of course, not all nuts are healthy or suitable for a body that has become more sensitive after the age of 70. While the nuts previously mentioned can be seen as good friends of old age, there are also certain types of nuts, though common and easy to find, that pose subtle risks to cardiovascular health, memory, or the digestive system. What's important to note is that these nuts are often consumed out of habit, sometimes for convenience, or due to the misconception that all nuts are inherently good. However, the aging body requires more careful selection, and even small changes in those choices can help prevent unnecessary health issues. Therefore, in the next section, we will take a closer look at the types of nuts that older adults should carefully consider before consuming regularly, not to create fear or promote absolute avoidance, but to foster a better understanding and make safe, appropriate choices for their own health. Macadamia nuts, with their hard shells, round kernels, and rich, buttery sweetness, often win people over from the very first taste. However, for individuals over the age of 70, this seemingly premium nut may carry unexpected health risks. To begin with, macadamias have the highest energy density among all common nuts. Just about 30 grams, or roughly 10 small nuts, can provide up to 200 kilocalories. Given that metabolism slows with age, consuming such a high number of calories in a small portion can easily lead to excess energy intake, resulting in gradual and uncontrolled weight gain. This is particularly concerning for those with chronic conditions such as diabetes, high blood pressure, or elevated blood lipids. Moreover, macadamias contain a relatively high amount of saturated fat compared to other nuts. This type of fat can raise levels of bad cholesterol in the blood and put added strain on a cardiovascular system that may already be fragile in older adults. Additionally, due to their dense, firm texture, macadamia nuts can be difficult to chew, especially for individuals with dentures or weak teeth. The risk of cracked crowns, jaw discomfort, or even choking from insufficient chewing is not uncommon. Another concern is that despite their high cost, macadamia nuts spoil easily if not stored properly, especially once shelled and sold ready to eat. Popular roasted varieties, such as those with added salt or butter, further increase sodium and unhealthy fat content, making them even less suitable for older adults who need to follow diets low in salt and saturated fats. Although the taste of macadamias is undeniably appealing, for those at an age where metabolic balance and digestive ease are key, this is a nut that should be approached with caution. Seniors who enjoy a mildly rich flavor and want to maintain a nut-eating habit can safely opt for alternatives such as almonds or pistachios, which are both safer and more beneficial to overall health. Cashews have long been considered a popular snack thanks to their mild richness, easy-to-eat texture, and soft bite, often favored by older adults for being gentle on the teeth and not causing the discomfort associated with harder nuts. However, few people realize that this seemingly friendly softness hides several health risks that deserve close attention in the elderly. The first concern is the relatively high carbohydrate content of cashews compared to other nuts. A small serving of just 30 grams contains up to 9 grams of starch, a number that may seem insignificant for younger individuals, but can have a notable impact on those who are entering or already within the pre-diabetic or diabetic group, which represents a large proportion of people over 70. Uncontrolled cashew consumption can lead to silent post-meal blood sugar spikes, reducing the effectiveness of medications and contributing to long-term chronic complications. Additionally, cashews contain a significant amount of oxalates, compounds that can bind with calcium in the intestines and reduce its absorption into the bones. For seniors who are already experiencing age-related bone density loss, this becomes a hidden factor that increases the risk of osteoporosis and fractures. Oxalates are also closely linked to kidney stone formation, a problem many remain unaware of until painful symptoms appear. Another lesser-known issue lies in the processing of cashews, which involves multiple steps to remove urushiol, a natural toxin found in the outer shell that belongs to the same family as poison ivy. As a result, much of the cashew's original nutritional value is diminished through extensive processing, while the risk of chemical or frying oil residues in commercially prepared products increases. When roasted with salt, butter, or sugar, cashews become highly palatable and addictive, making it easy to overeat and difficult to control portions. Furthermore, due to their soft and slippery texture, cashews are also among the nuts most likely to cause choking, especially in individuals with swallowing difficulties or dry mouth from medication use. Although cashews are a common household nut, they are not the most suitable choice for those who need to manage blood sugar levels, support bone health, and maintain digestive balance. Instead of continuing the habit of eating cashews, older adults should consider replacing them with lower sugar, fiber-rich options like almonds or walnuts, which satisfy the palate while offering more sustainable health benefits. Peanuts are one of the most widely consumed nuts across the world, often seen as a convenient, affordable, and satisfying snack. However, for individuals over the age of 70, regular peanut consumption deserves a closer look. First, it's important to understand that peanuts are not technically nuts at all, but legumes that grow underground. This makes them highly susceptible to contamination by molds, particularly Aspergillus flavus, which can produce aflatoxins, naturally occurring toxins linked to liver damage, and, in prolonged exposure, liver cancer. As we age, the body's detoxification systems become less efficient, meaning that the risk associated with even moderate aflatoxin exposure may increase. Additionally, even in people who are not allergic to peanuts, these legumes can still trigger low-grade inflammatory responses, which is a particular concern in older adults already managing conditions such as joint pain, cardiovascular stress, or cognitive decline. Peanuts are also disproportionately high in omega-6 fatty acids. While not harmful in isolation, an imbalanced omega-6 to omega-3 ratio can contribute to chronic inflammation, a process now strongly associated with age-related illnesses including atherosclerosis, Alzheimer's disease, and metabolic disorders. Beyond that, peanuts can interfere with certain medications. For example, their natural vitamin K content may alter the effectiveness of blood thinners like warfarin, potentially complicating cardiovascular treatment regimens. Commercially, peanuts are often roasted in hydrogenated oils, heavily salted or sweetened, all of which compound the risk for older adults dealing with hypertension, high cholesterol, or insulin resistance. Even natural peanut butter, while seemingly healthier, can still raise blood pressure and contribute to excess calorie intake if portion control is lacking. Another point of concern is storage. Peanuts spoil easily, and when they oxidize, they generate free radicals, unstable molecules that can accelerate cell damage and aging. When roasted at high temperatures, they may also produce acrylamide, a compound being studied for its possible role in neurodegeneration. Taken together, these factors suggest that while peanuts may still have a place in a carefully controlled diet, they are far from an ideal daily snack for older adults. Healthier alternatives like almonds, walnuts, or pistachios offer superior nutrient profiles and a much lower risk of inflammatory or toxic exposure. Making this small shift can be a meaningful step toward supporting long-term cognitive and cardiovascular health. Pine nuts, with their small size and rich buttery flavor, are often used in European-style dishes, such as pesto or salads, yet they pose several notable risks for older adults. Although not as common as peanuts or cashews, pine nuts have certain properties that people over 70 should pay particular attention to. First of all, pine nuts can trigger a rare but alarming reaction known as pine nut syndrome, in which individuals experience a lingering bitter or metallic taste in the mouth that can last for days or even weeks after consumption. While this may only cause temporary discomfort in younger individuals, for older adults, such a sudden loss of taste can lead to decreased appetite, reduced nutritional intake, and over time, unintended weight loss and physical decline. Alarmingly, this syndrome tends to occur more frequently in the elderly, partly due to the natural decline of taste receptors and detoxification functions in the liver and kidneys with age. In addition, certain chemical components in pine nuts may interact with common prescription medications used by older individuals, such as statins, antidepressants, or blood pressure medications, potentially reducing their effectiveness or even triggering serious side effects. Pine nuts are also particularly high in polyunsaturated fats, which makes them prone to oxidation if not stored properly, resulting in the formation of free radicals that can contribute to chronic inflammation. This is especially concerning for those already living with arthritis, cardiovascular conditions, or autoimmune disorders. From a food safety perspective, the small and slippery texture of pine nuts also increases the risk of choking, particularly in seniors who experience swallowing difficulties or dry mouth due to polypharmacy. Furthermore, recent studies suggest that certain varieties of pine nuts may contain compounds that could worsen macular degeneration, a leading cause of irreversible vision loss in people over 70. For all these reasons, despite their refined role in modern cuisine, pine nuts are not a safe choice for older adults, especially when there are other nuts that are more nutritious and carry fewer risks. Instead of using pine nuts, seniors can consider alternatives like almonds or walnuts, which are not only easier to manage but also offer sustained health benefits while satisfying the palate. Nutrition at the age of 70 is no longer about eating for fullness or taste, but about eating correctly and adequately to maintain mental sharpness, physical flexibility, and daily quality of life. What may seem like tiny nuts actually play a major role in protecting cardiovascular health, memory, joints, and sleep quality, all of which directly affect an older person's ability to live independently and feel emotionally comfortable. As we have seen, 4 types of nuts that are recommended for daily consumption, such as almonds, walnuts, Brazil nuts, and pistachios, can be considered ideal companions. They provide essential nutrients, are friendly to the digestive system, and suit the gentle rhythm of senior living. In contrast, uncontrolled consumption of nuts like peanuts, cashews, macadamias, and pine nuts can lead to subtle yet serious health effects, especially when combined with underlying medical conditions or ongoing medications. Nutrition experts always remind us that just one small change a day, such as choosing a more suitable nut, can make a significant difference in long-term health. You do not need to eat a large amount, only to eat the right kinds regularly with attention to how your body responds and a bit of consistency. If you found today's video helpful, please click like as a small encouragement for us to continue bringing high-quality content. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive regular, easy-to-follow updates on nutrition and elderly healthcare. And if you have ever made a small change in your diet, such as adding a healthy nut or removing something that did not suit you, feel free to share your story in the comments below. Your experience might inspire someone else. We truly appreciate every piece of feedback and are always here to accompany you on your journey to living well and joyfully each day.